or anything like that. We do love our industry. We do value what each of you does. Um, we live in our communities. We play in the streams and fish and recreate and do all those things. And it's amazing what just the common citizen across the country doesn't understand about runoff, water quality, and really what you guys do. And so that's important to us. So we are a software company, standalone, dedicated software company. We are not consultants. We're not tied to any consulting firm. We literally have passion to leverage technology and tech for people in the field doing things like inspections. And specifically, we're in this stormwater niche, all things stormwater. And so that's a little bit about us as we kind of share challenges that you guys face, technology that's available out in the industry that could be helpful to you guys as you make your plans long term to start solving and making your jobs and your compliance more efficient. Charley, would you have anything to add to that?
No, just excited to present.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share. So I think you guys should be able to see. Can you guys, and you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
And for some reason it is delayed on me. Hold on just a second. It won't click through. Let's try again.
And I have it pulled up as well, Ryan, if you would like me to share instead.
Yeah, go ahead, Charley. It's
Great.
delayed on my end, so if it's pulling up on yours, let's just do it that way.
Okay.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Can everybody see our screen?
Yep. Get some nods.
Okay, so we're going to talk about some common MS4 inspector challenges that today's technology solves. And we're going to start with regulatory compliance. I mean, you guys are obviously implementing your, municipalities or states, uh, you know, compliance. I mean, there's a permit that you guys hold. There's regulations that you go by in order to be compliant. And so that's first and foremost that you guys are compliant with those regulations and that you can report back. The second thing is just heavy workloads and time constraints. Maybe we'll get some thumbs up there. We understand funding. We've stayed close to some of the WEF and NAMSA, information out there, and by way of surveys that speak to how underfunded you guys are. You have about 1 million responsibilities, and several of you may even wear more hats than just in the world of stormwater, and you're out there trying to do your job. And then along with that is lack of resources, tools, and we would even say technology with an exclamation point because we're excited about technology. And so some of those challenges for you guys in the field are having configurable form templates. So a way to get forms out there for you to use those and have those assigned on your across your MCMs. Completing and distributing inspections, both in the office and in the field. Communication, how to communicate that, and even getting communication back and follow up. The next one is monitoring and follow-up. So how are you monitoring these sites and across your MCMs and getting the follow-up that you guys need? And then that goes into escalation if you need to run it up higher, further documentation with follow-up related to that as well. We could even put things like NOVs there. And annual reporting, even though there's a lot of reporting, we'll just go to the very end and say your annual reporting. That is a challenge that you guys have compiling all of that information. So these are common challenges that we see that today's technology can help solve. Any questions or any input there? Maybe a thumbs up. Are we on the right track? Are these challenges that you guys see? Maybe one thumbs up. Great. Okay, we're now going to go on and we're going to talk about technology that's available that can help each of you. First is the cloud, which has really changed the way people are working. To a very simplistic level, if I can just call your attention to, when we used to create a Word doc and then email it to someone and they could see it, and then they made it editable. Now, a lot of that is on the cloud, so we can save and update and amend, and we can control access and things like that. With the cloud, I would also say connectivity, allows that to happen, and data. Data is cheap these days, and that's something that wasn't true even, 10, 15 years ago. And so the cloud eliminates data network and accessibility constraints on you. And so leveraging the cloud will help you. The next thing is what we call SaaS. Many of you may know what that means, but software as a service. We sell software as a service. That's what we know. But the day and age we live in, there are a ton of software as a service platforms that provide niche tech that everyone can use now. Kind of look at it like a private jet versus a commercial jet. Most of us fly commercially if we're going to go somewhere. And that's really what SaaS allows people to do. They can jump on and do something at a lower cost than they would, bring that private software in, even though it needs to be configurable, which we'll talk about. The next one out there that is available for you guys is mobile-ready software. Gone are the days of, wow, it doesn't work on iOS or my iPad or an Android tablet. You guys need to know 2025 stuff is responsive to be able to go across all devices, or should be. And if it's not, then that should raise a red flag with you. We're well into the mobile smart age, and so mobile ready software is out there in spades. Next one is configurable forms. We talked about compliance, regulatory compliance for you guys. That involves forms and processes. And along with clouding and connectivity and access and all these things, you've got to have control of forms, and you've got to be able to configure those to meet what you need. That's customization, adding processes, having assignments, editing, securing those, being able to manage access, and more. So that is out there. Further is automation. And so not just having things in software, but actually having it automated to where it's doing stuff behind the scenes. And automation can remove barriers to report distribution, access. It can remove barriers and make things easy by way of sign-offs, including things like escalation with automatic escalations, documentation, annual reporting, things that are pulling stuff and reports automatically into other things, automating those. Technology can do that this day and age, and that makes it easy for you so you don't have to manually do it. And finally, and again, this is just a common list. We want to talk about view-only codes and links for things like accessible documents in the field, or permits, or things that you may or need access to. It's a view-only world where we can now see things on the cloud, whereas in the past we had to have things printed out and stuff like that. Now, some of these may align with where you guys are at with your goals and right now, and with your management plans and stuff like that. But it's good to be aware of these solutions that are out there in the world of tech. Any questions or comments about available technology that can potentially help MS4 inspectors? Okay. You guys chime in at any time. I don't want to put you to sleep. Okay, we're going to move on now, and we're going to put this together. So we talked about challenge that you guys have, and we talked about technology that's available. Now we're going to say, what is it that you should be looking for when you're looking for technology? And I put the word shopping there because, people are looking to use technology. The first thing, and you guys will probably all nod your heads, maybe a few more thumbs up, is cost effective. Does it help you and your MS4 save time and money? It should. And again, it's 2025 with SaaS and cloud models. That's something that's attainable, and that's something that you guys can and should look for. The second thing is those template forms control that we talked about. You need that in your fingertips and in your hands because you can't wait on other people to do things for you or pay them to do that. You got to have a way to leverage those forms. And many of you are probably already using Google Docs or Office to create forms and templates. That's great. We want to combine that with automation, which is number 4, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So template forms control is something you're definitely looking for in technology. The next one, I mean, we're in the stormwater industry, and you're really looking for, it would benefit you to look for something that's specific to stormwater that understands all the nuances with even things like, rain event triggers. You guys are having to monitor high priority sites, and weather might have to be a part of that. And so, a general inspection software may not capture some of the specifics. It doesn't that our industry demands by way of timelines and frequencies and rain data and other types of things. And with that, one question you would ask yourself that would be helpful is, can you manage all MCMs from this type of software? And so look across all your MCMs, whether it's your private facilities, your IDDE, your construction sites, if you have to deal any with high priority, and if you have to deal with anything industrial wise, and so things to be aware of. Fourth thing is automation, not just having to be able to complete a form, but having automation in those forms and in those processes so that you guys can have a look at a real-time dashboard. For example, you go out and you conduct 50 inspections and you list 2 action items for every inspection, and now you have 100 action items that you're having to track. Well, you need to look for automation where when you look at your dashboard, it says 100 today, and you wake up tomorrow and it says 42. That's how many action items are outstanding, because the other 48, help me on my math, 58 would be taken care of. So they've already been signed off and updated on your dashboard. So that's automation. So now you're only seeing what still is left to be taken care of. Further, reminders on those 42 that are left. Automation to where software sends back out, hey, you still haven't done this in the time frame that I asked you to do it, so that they can again close it out, and it takes it off, and now you're down to maybe 20. And so that automation saves you time. You're not tracking what's already been done. You're actually tracking what you still have to stay on top of and what may be outstanding and where non-compliance may take place. So, and we can talk a lot about automation, and that's probably where some of I'm hoping to see some comments and some maybe hands go up there. And then last is just emerging technology. You need to be looking at, hey, what's next? What can further help me in my MS4? What are others doing now that I should pay attention to? Because as you guys know, there's always things that are coming online that can help people do more with tech, and that's just an important really strategy for you guys as you move forward with your municipalities. Okay, so hopefully that is very helpful to you. We're going to go into each of these and show a few examples. We do have just some real world examples from our software that we use, but in general, we want you guys just to walk away with a good feeling of, hey, these are some things, obviously, the problems you face. This is what's out there by way of technology, and these are some things that can help me. Number one, cost effective. I mean, this goes without saying. It's pretty simple. Today's SaaS models, which we mentioned, can help. Obviously, you got cost benefit analysis, time, money. You guys are going to have to look at it and say, is this something that if we plan ahead with it, is this an investment into our time and our municipality's resources? And when we talk about automation, anything that drives data back to you and makes it to where you don't have to, manually do it can help save a lot of time and resources. And even, idling while you're in your car, out on sites. But everyone's going to have a different, opinion on it being cost effective. But we just wanted to highlight that. The next one is template forms control. We've shown an example here of just an admin dashboard allowing forms to be created, named whatever, and of course assignments to be made. So really looking for a user interface to be able to do that, and that really will be a huge benefit to you guys because again, things change, new things come online, and you're dealing with different MCMs across across those. So you need to be able to right now have forms that match, those templates match what you need expected, and that goes obviously into specific categories for you guys.
And just to reiterate, one of the things about this is you need the immediacy. You don't need to you don't need to update a template and then have people struggle to gain access to the updated version of the template and keep using outdated versions of the templates. So there's a lot of technology out there that will make sure that when you do create templates, when you do edit them, they're immediately available. And so make sure whatever you get, you can edit your templates, you can create new ones, and then immediately have those in the hands of the inspectors. So,
Thank you, Charlie.
mhm.
Excellent. We'll go into number three, which is stormwater inspection, stormwater specific software that helps to track and manage all MCMs. So really, there's a huge advantage to having a stormwater platform that's specific across these MCMs. Obviously, being compatible on any device. I didn't mention that earlier as a challenge or a solution with today's technology, but mobile friendly, and then of course being supported in real time. So no matter what where your entry is at or what you're doing, that it's happening right now, and everything is updated as it should be. And as an example to that, Charlie, if you want to talk a little bit about the dashboard, just related to stormwater software across all MCMs.
Yeah, for sure. So just circling back to what Ryan mentioned earlier about being able to go out on site to be able to see immediately what has been done, what still needs to be done, and things like that. That's a critical aspect of any software that you get. You don't need to be managing you don't need to be managing all of the stuff that a computer could manage for you. So you need to be able to see, hey, what's a problem? That's the whole goal of a dashboard is what's a problem? What do I need to do? I don't need to worry about digging through all the stuff that has been done. If that's been documented, that's great. The computer can track that. Wonderful. I need to focus on what needs to be done, what's out of compliance, and things like that. So you need to make sure that it has some sort of dashboard or some sort of scorecard or something that provides you with an opportunity to immediately see whether it's in your office or out in the field while you're sitting, on a site idling, like Ryan mentioned, immediately being able to see these items that then you can take action on. And so the ability to geolocate like our software does, those pins can be very helpful. So you can immediately be taken to those locations. And then also all sorts of other data, especially around geolocation, especially things like photos, making sure you know where photos were taken, when they were taken, things like that. Immediately having all that in the system and then accessible to you so you can make the important decisions that you need to make. And you don't spend your time digging through to verify things that a computer could just as easily verify for you.
Thank you, Charlie. Automation. Let's talk about automation. I've already mentioned some of these. Um, one point of automation, and lots of terms for this, but you guys go out and you say, hey, something's got to be done. That form allowing people to respond to that and it to update that form and to update your dashboard without there being a barrier is a form of automation. And so that's been a game changer in our industry, and it's something that we invented and have in a patent pending status. The ability for permittees to respond to your reports and to literally close them out without even having to log in. And then, of course, it folds it into the data into the report. Charley mentioned those real-time dashboard updates of open action items, once again, automated every time something is closed out. Automated reminders for late action items, meaning that if you say, hey, this is due now or this is due in 7 days, it sends a reminder back out saying, hey, you still haven't done this, which helps them to comply, which is really all they're trying to do anyways, if you're sending that to them. Well, most of them, maybe not all of them, but a lot of people just want to do what you ask them to do. Geolocation of corrective actions, on reports and maps, that being automated. Escalating action items that are not completed and going through that process where that's automated and sends stuff out as well. Any other Charley automation that might be valuable for us to mention right now?
So, I mean, those are the critical ones, just being able to make sure that everybody's on the same page and everybody's getting reminders of anything that might have gone late, especially to make sure that they're staying in compliance. And we also had one question about um, detention basin and ponds. Yes, they can be geopinned with the longitude and latitude as well. So just going back to that to answer that question from Tony. And then Ryan, it does sound like some people are having trouble hearing you. So if you can speak up a little bit. Thank you,
Okay.
Christina, for letting us know. But anyways, back to the automation. So, and including the detention basins and ponds, everything is anyways, it's 2025. You shouldn't be digging through inspection reports and emailing people back and forth an inspection report saying, "Hey, did you finish this action item? Did you finish it? No, I didn't. I still need to do this." Back and forth, back and forth. You need a software that will automatically send them out what you find and then give them a way to fill out, say, "Yes, I did this," and then have it automatically come back to you. And if somebody doesn't get it done, it needs to let you know and it needs to let them know, saying, hey, this needs to be done with, again, a very easy way for them to say, hey, this is done, and then for you to immediately see that. Okay, that's you all do not have enough time. Like Ryan was mentioned earlier, you all do not have enough time to be tracking down hundreds and hundreds of action items every few weeks. Okay, you need to use the tools available to automate this so that you can get to the other things that you need to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Charley. That's super helpful. I was just another thought on automation is you asked about being able to pin the location of a pond, a detention pond. Again, it's 2025. Being able to go and literally drop a pin where you're standing and label that as a detention pond. I mean, things that you would expect that you can do with a phone or a tablet, you should be able to do. Absolutely. Okay. Any other questions about automation or further discussion? I'm trying to speak up a little bit.
Okay. And we'll have question time at the end for questions as well.
Okay. Um, and further, let's just, Charley, briefly talk about the annual report with the
Yeah.
automation there.
Yeah, so back to the whole point we've been making over and over again is you all are out there doing all the work, your inspectors are doing inspections, action items. You don't need to go digging through all that to count numbers, count inspections completed, count action items completed, things like that. You just need that data is all recorded. And so a computer can very easily just take that, the software can take that and give you the numbers for it. So for your annual reports, this is an example of one. Um, for your annual reports, it needs to be able to just tell you, hey, we did this many swoop approval tasks. We have this many high priority sorts. These are how many inspections we completed versus the operator completed. How are our facilities doing? How many inspections did we do there? How many high priorities do we have? All that data just needs to automatically come back to you. So you're not spending weeks, hours and hours and hours digging through counting, okay, I did this many inspection reports. I had this many responses. I oversaw these many. You don't need to do that. That's something that a software can do for you very easily. And so that's one big example for us for the automation aspect.
Awesome. Thank you.
We just had a good question come in from Jordan, and so he asked, is this software an app, a website, or both? And so the answer is both. We do have our website. We're mainly a web-based app, but we do have an offline native app for use out in the field in areas where you don't have connectivity. And so that is a successful model that we've seen, but we are a web-based app, and that is typically what you'll see. So you don't have to, going back to what Ryan said earlier about software as a service, a lot of people prefer to do web-based apps because then there's no downloading, everything's automatically updated just as soon as you log in. You don't have to worry about people using old versions of software. And so to your question, Jordan, the answer is both. So.
Good question.
mm,
And we are wrapping up, and then we can take further discussion and show further things if we need. But the last one is emerging technology. We launched back in '08, and we have users, a user base approaching 13,000 across 48 states. And we definitely are involved with emerging technology. And one of the things with municipalities we're involved with is connecting you guys with the private sector. And this is a concept that some grasp quick, some are not interested, and everywhere in between. Um, we do think, just like other things we do in our society, we do think that people are going to be in the same place with their stormwater compliance data in the future. And so we've already, this is something that we invented years ago, and this is in a patent pending status as well, where we put the private sector and you guys on the same platform with giving you each your own control. And as you go out into the field and do what you need to do, you can see everything that you need to see already right in front of you. That's all documents, site maps, rain reports, stuff like that, their reports. You can even put out your templates through your municipality to them to complete, and they can complete it on a phone, but it puts you guys on the same page. And the response rate in our pilots over the years is really through the roof. Just a high rate of success with the private sector saying, thank you for providing this to me, because when I'm in other cities, they're asking me to submit this stuff even via fax or have a hard copy on site. And for me to be able to do it digitally, it just saves time and effort. Further, we're tied into NOAA's site-specific weather data, which also will notify them if there's a rain event on whatever frequency or whatever threshold that they may have. And for them, that is a huge partnering thing. It becomes a game changer because they no longer have to track rain, and the software for the municipality is sending them and helping them comply. And so everyone's on the same page. It helps to kind of build that collaboration and really helps with compliance and simplifies and saves time for everyone. And we have a graphic on this next slide that helps with that. Just kind of helps you to see kind of what that looks like.
And so the point here is to connect the MS4s and the private side. This particular one references construction site operators, but it could be just as easily follow-ups for private ownership for long-term, any of the long-term assets that they might have that are privately owned. And then it can also be for follow-ups on like illicit discharges and things like that. We definitely have that. So whatever your software you're using, you need to, one of the key things that we found success for MS4s is bringing the private side and the public side together so that when you have things that you need to do, have things that you need to oversee, they can immediately provide that to you through a very easy platform without having to get burdened by things like, some sort of price barrier, some sort of cost barrier, and other things like, they have to download a software in order to get it. They need to be able to just pull out their phone, log in, and then get you what you need. And that is where the barriers fall away and everything starts actually happening. Anyways, and so that's what we have found. So, okay. Any
Awesome.
questions here, or Ryan?
That's great. So, yeah, really, that's what we wanted to educate you guys on. We think it's helpful. We have these conversations with municipalities every day, uh, both through clients, through demos, through everything that we do and talk about. Our passion is for you guys to help you uh, put something in your hands that kind of helps you guys do your jobs and helps you to feel good about what you do. We're concerned about non-compliance, just like we all are, and people that are out there that permittees that need to be monitored, and a lot of them just need to be educated and they're handheld sometimes. But utilizing technology, leveraging technology for them to be able to be successful and you to be successful is kind of what we're all about. And we'd love to answer any further
No,
questions you have or show you
engineer
anything
was
further
and the
that you may need.
contractor was, so that's all I said. Yeah, no, you get a set of plans and you go for them, so,
Is there, thank you. And we're seeing some comments come in. Is there any interest? We do have a little bit of time. We're happy to pull up our platform if you guys are interested in seeing some of that and navigating around a little bit, just showing a few things that could be beneficial to you. Okay, we've got a few coming in.
I
We're
think,
just
yeah, it looks like people are interested.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
just going to pull up our platform and we're going to go right. This is a fake MS4 we're going to show called, there's no
yeah, I
such
saw something.
MS4 as Valley
The plan was
Glen.
approved and then
There's some feedback we're getting. So if you are on the phone or something, if you can mute.
I just muted them. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, sounds like
Sorry.
people can't hear me as well, so that's good. Um, this is an example of just a fake dashboard to give you guys a flavor. We're going to show you our whole program, which is a dashboard and then site pages for each of the sites you're monitoring, and then an admin page. That's really it. It's been professionally designed and all those aspects we just talked about put together for your benefit. You're looking at different MCMs that you're monitoring, whether it be construction, whether it be post-construction or IDVE, which is what the different pins represent. And those pins are, those have site names that correspond to them with geolocations that you can see. And they're broken down on the left by way of really of your key performance indicators. What's outstanding right now by way of inspections, what's by way of action items, if there's any weather alerts that you guys are monitoring for a high priority, if there's anything due by way of their sites, if there's any expired permits, things like that. So you guys get an overall view in real time. And by the way, if there's action items that you've assigned, and if that number, like I mentioned earlier, is down to 42, and someone goes right now and receives your report and they update two of those, then this number on this dashboard is going to change to 40. And you're going to have the documentation show that those other two items were done. Okay. Also, we'll let you see filtering just on our dashboard. If you have a certain department that's just over construction, you can filter that and they can only have access to that. So you're looking at a multi-tier dashboard that really just gives access to who needs it in their department, whereas whoever's leading the overall program could have access and see everything. Anything you'd add to the dashboard briefly, Charlie?
Yeah, the whole point in this dashboard that we've developed is it's a pass-through page. Like we mentioned in the presentation, the point is to get you the information that you need to know what you need to do. I need to, okay, I need to go do 2 inspections on operator sites. Oh, I've got 6 inspections I've got to do on an MS4 site. Oh, look, we've got 5 action items here. Oh, look, we've got late action items and things like that. The whole point is I've got sites missing permits. I've got sites that haven't uploaded their plans, things like that. The whole point is to let you, at a glance, know what you need to do. And then the second page we're going to talk about that we'll get to in just a second is the site page. That's where everything actually happens. Okay? And so you need to know, you need to have confidence that you know what you need to do and immediately be able to get to a point where you can do that. And that's what the dashboard's purpose is. So
Great, Charlie. Thank you. We're going to go into a site page, and this is where the rubber hits the road for you guys. So you're out navigating around, and you may notice these columns and me talking about being mobile friendly. It's because we're on a desktop, but if you put this on a tablet or a phone, it will just stack and line up. It's actually optimized for mobile. This allows you guys to come in and perform your inspections. And you have all your template control underneath that Manage tab at the top left. We're not going to go into that Manage tab right now. But that's where all your forms live. And so you can assign those off as you need. And right here, you can jump in and perform your inspections. You can also review documents that were submitted, or if you're having them use the software with the Connect feature, they can upload those documents. That includes things like sitemaps, where you can see their updated sitemap in real time, their permits as well, and then you can monitor and track all the action items. We're going to just jump in on an inspection, and we're going to just create one simple action item. It's completely configurable to whoever's forms need to be. It's configurable to however you want your form laid out or whatever else it is that you want to use or do. We're going to create, and this is just an example of one format and layout. We're going to go ahead and create an action item, which can be tied to questions if you want, but we're going to create one just to show you a little bit of what that looks like. This can be any priority that you guys want, completely configurable. You can put in there whatever titles that you want, including custom drop downs that you guys can just select in your field. And then you can add the device's location. That's just a very powerful feature because if you're standing on the item and you click add device location, it will actually put those coordinates right in there for you. And when they receive it, it'll walk them right to that. Okay, so that's just an example of how quick it is to add an action item. You can also pin action items to a sitemap if you need, which also shows them a location with a view only for them to navigate to it. Very helpful. All of these and completing an inspection, and we're going to get off of this. We'll answer any questions, and we'll go on to the admin page. Is as easy at the bottom. Electronic signature law these days allows you guys to do this digitally, and you can sign and send it to all the people that are in the bank to receive it. You can sign and don't send it. You can finish it later. There's lots of options that you guys have, but digital inspections that can go automatically to the people that you choose. We'll go back to the site page where those inspections live. You'll see an inspection history. Again, clouding technology, you need access to all your inspections in real time. And so this is what it looks like in ComplianceGo, which is super helpful because you can kind of see everything that's been done. And if there are second signature requirements, stuff like that from the permittees, you can monitor that. This is showing our Connect feature where the operator is doing inspections and the MS4 is doing inspections, and you see those coordinated together. And about the view-only links that we spoke about earlier, I think on the site page, I'll just show you, just give you a little flavor of what that looks like. This is a QRC code that if you hit that with your phone right now, it would take you to this actual site where you could see the documents and permits and inspection history, or you could send a link out, or they could send a link out. This is what's sweeping the country, making it possible to not have documents in the field or in a mailbox, or documents that might be stolen or who knows, weathered or lost. They're protected on the cloud and they can be accessible through view only, so no one can manipulate the documents or the information.
1 second, Ryan. We got a really great question again from Jordan. He said, how does the resident or property owner respond to the action items? Is it done via an email link? Do they need to download the software to respond to the action items? So that is a great question. Do you want to answer it or do you want me to?
I would like to, because
Okay.
I love responding to this one. The answer is they receive an email link with the report. And when they click on that report and it shows those action items in that email, they can close the action item. So they can click close. They can even provide pictures. And you can even require that they provide pictures, and you can even have metadata included. And when they do that in their email, it folds into the report, in the software, and into the dashboard. So that's automation. So they don't have to log in, and they don't have to download the app or anything like that. And so we removed that barrier. We just made a way for them to be able to do that. We don't know anyone else that does that. About the only thing we hear is they can respond to email saying, hey, Jordan, I did this. And then you have to take that information and put it in the report and update. But that's not automation. Ours is literally in the email. There's a close action item button. They close it. And when they do that, it folds it into the software. So no logging in. And Charley, I think, is showing
Yeah.
what this
Yeah.
looks like.
When they click the close button, they come to this page. Again, they don't have to log in, they don't have to download anything. There's no barrier there. And they can come in, they can leave notes, they can upload photos, they can put in the completed, and then they can have their electronic signature here. And if you need certification language for your action items, you can add that here as well. But it is as easy as they get the email, they pull up their phone, they click close, fill out a few details, and then they close it. And that's immediately back into the system and all the numbers update and everything.
And to be clear, they're seeing this action item page not with the key performance indicators to the left. They're just
Yeah,
seeing that
just
says
this.
action item. And this is important because you guys need response. And this is at the heart of a technology automation solution. You need response on what you're asking them to do. And a lot of people are just willing to do that. And if they have an easy way to do that and they can respond, then everybody's happy, everybody wins. And so that's something we rolled out years ago, which has really changed the industry. So if you think about that example I gave earlier, you go out and do 50 inspections, 2 action items for each inspection, 100 action items. Man, we're seeing high response rates in the 90th percentile plus, which means that these people are signing these action items off, and you're coming back to work going, oh my gosh, I only have like 8 of these that are still pending out here. And of course, the system will automatically send it back out to them saying, hey, you still haven't done this. And the kind of the inspector or the permittee that might be behind the others, it's as simple as a conversation where they're saying, hey, I got this action item, and I guess what you want me to do with it is close it, hit that close button. You're like, yeah, that's what you got to do. And they're like, oh, well, that was easy. I didn't realize it was going to be that easy. I thought I was going to have to log in or do this or that. And so it's just an easy process.
Great question, Jordan. Okay.
We're going to now, anything else on the site page you want to mention, Charley?
No, I think the
Okay.
manage page is a good place. So,
We're going to go to the manage page this is the municipality management page. And this is where your forms live. We talked about that earlier. You can see where you can add a form or manage or edit a form. And that's really good because you guys need the ability to assign these across whatever MCM that you may have. You can also do your reporting here, which means that you can look at your annual report across all the inspections that have happened, across all action items that have been submitted. You can even see and export all of this data as CSV, and you can even see trends on what's the most common item that you may have and time frames and stuff like that. And then because you have different forms, you have NOV forms, escalation forms, that's all reported in the annual report. So your numbers are there for you in real time. And this is a look at that technology we talked about, all put into one specifically for municipal inspectors to help everyone save time and money. This is the entire program and designed for that purpose.
Any more questions here?
We hope that this has been beneficial to you guys, regardless of what you're, moving into in the future. Know that nationally, people are going digital, both on the municipal side, but also on the operator side. And it has literally taken off. Again, we launched almost 20 years ago. We were the very first software to gain EPA approval to have all things SWIP digital. That happened out of Region 8 with Region 8 EPA at that time. And since then, they have updated and amended their permits to allow for that. And it's really just changing the game and just making things easier for everyone.
Great. Any other questions? Or that was some really interesting information. I really liked seeing it live as well. I got a few comments that people have really enjoyed this, so I really appreciate you guys doing this today. If you were sent this information via a link and did not receive an email from me, and I do not have your name on my attendance list, I don't think I see anybody on that list, but just send me an email just to make sure I have your information. Do you guys have any follow-up information that you would like me to email out to everyone with their PDH certificate? If so, I can wait till tomorrow to send the final email out. It's up to you what you guys want to do.